Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to Bringers of the Light Sunday. Welcome, welcome. All are welcome. Step into my castle and join me here as we talk about the energies of the week ahead with our channeled story, Bringers of the Light story, Flying Potion. All bringers of the light are welcome as I wrap us all in love light and light love, inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul. Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, all my TLC for the soul guides, stepping in now to help us play with the energies of this now, the week ahead. So welcome in, whether you're new here, whether you've been here for a while, join me. Get yourself something fun to drink or grab a snack. We're talking about the week ahead. What's happening right now and the astrology and the energy beat for the planet. If you missed it on Fridays now, I've been trying to start a new little Fabulous Friday series where I do the cards for the week ahead. So it covers the weekend. So Friday I dropped this on YouTube, Fabulous Fridays, and it was all about wishes coming true, things that you want coming in. Yes, that you're going to get everything you've been wishing for was kind of the topic of that. And before we just jump into Flying Potion, I have a couple of little things to share. It's kind of where I like to just, Sundays to me, Bringers of the Light Sundays is also kind of a little hangout with you guys. So it's actually it's 29 degrees Fahrenheit outside because we do have people that listen and watch from all over the world. Yay. And there's a little tiny bit of snow on the ground. It's kind of gray. If you can see, if you're watching on YouTube out the window, it's gray. And I try to put bright lights on at this point, that simulate sunlight. So I have the color changing lights around the house because I'm like, oh, this gray. And then it's dark by, 4:30. And it's going to more cold. I mean, it just gets colder from here. It's just going to keep going down and down to where 30 degrees will feel like a heat wave. It'll go into the negatives here probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. But regardless, we're still here doing our magical work and holding our little piece of the grids in good old North Dakota. Here at Mystic Gables, our enchanted land, a magical space and magical place. So join me here. Something that came up in the cards on Friday as well that was quite interesting was new Bringers of the Light assignments coming up. Maybe calling on some old skill sets that you haven't used in a while. So I did post on YouTube. Did I put it on the podcast? I don't think I did. The Patreon preview to the second part in our Financial Self-Mastery mini lab. That was a healing session, and part 3 is going to be all about the energetics behind the manifesting and of financial wealth. But this one was a very interesting shamanic journey. I'm not even going to say what it was, but it was a journey I've never done before. About financial, it was a journey to bring in financial fresh starts. So that is out there on Patreon. Patreon, if you're not familiar with it, is a membership-based. It's an app or a website, however you want to get to it. But you can join for free, and sometimes I put posts out there for everybody. But typically, you become a member or you purchase a collection. And so for the Financial Self-Mastery, it's available as a collection to purchase. And every time I add to it, you get access to everything that I add to that collection, for the lifetime. Or you know, if you want to become a member and join into one of the tiers, I'm constantly adding new content and stuff there in that's our Bringers of the Light kind of fandom base as well. Speaking of Bringers of the Light fandom stuff, I said I had a surprise for today. So I want to show you one of the designs. I'm working on another one, but I wasn't ready to present it today. But this one I'm showing YouTube what it looks like. If you're on the podcast and you want to see that, links to everything I talk about are always in the show notes, and you can bop on over and take a look at that, you know, on my website or on my Redbubble shop. But I'm showing folks on YouTube the home screen of my website, which says new Bringers of the Light design available now in our Redbubble shop. And I'm going to hold it up to the camera. It is, it's a member of the Spectre and Book Club. Now, one thing I haven't really done and kind of talked about since I did it was our Bringers of the Light sigil that I made a while back. So I made this sigil. I'm going to show it again. This was the sigil I made for Bringers of the Light. So it's got a B, an O, a T, and an L, and a heart. And it's been highly encoded and protective. And it's all about us Bringers of the Light, those of us doing our light work, be it, you know, however you define yourself as a wizard, a warlock, a witch, a light warrior, a spiritual warrior, whatever moniker you want to put on yourself. With this sigil that I made, what I started doing then was creating sigil wear. So there's a special collection, a special line of merch that I've created that has the sigil on it. And it's a basis. It's what you can use. Like, it's like a badge in a sense. Like, I'm a bringer of the light, but you know, I don't have to like scream it out from the rooftops. I've got my little sigil, but the sigil is also a very protective talisman. So anywhere it's placed, be it on the merch, like a t-shirt, a mug, whatever, it is a protective talisman, just like, that's the intention behind it. It's a protective talisman as a bringer of the light, just like anything else that you use as a protective talisman, right? So it has been highly encoded to be a protective talisman, because technically all bringers of the light that are here doing spiritual work on the planet right now are highly protected by the higher realms anyway. But this little thing I think is a fun little like visual representation of the fact that you're a bringer of the light, and I've got my little badge. You know, nobody has to know it but me unless I want people to know it. You know, I want to talk about it or whatever. It's kind of like our own little like secret, our own little secret club. So member of the Spectre and Book Club, this is the design, the whole thing with the ghost and the ghost reading the book. And I'll read the design. Hi, you can come over here. Here's my babies. It says, Abigail wondered if she should still keep Spectre and Book going. So this is an excerpt from the book that we're working on right now together. So many of its members had moved on to other things or were just too busy lately. Abigail recalled how great she felt every time the group got together, and she made a promise to keep the coven going, even if she had to switch members out to those who were more available. She couldn't keep being the one who did all the work. That just wasn't balanced. Let's see, there was Polly and Scratchy, Abigail and Rainacourt, Timbre, and Abigail realized that this small group was the problem. They needed more witches, and she decided that by this time next season they would have their 13 members, and it would be up to those who attended regularly to help locate the others. You too can become a member of the Bringers of the Light Spectre and Book Club with this cute ghost design, pledging your participation in the group. So from the homepage of my website, if we hit the links that are there, it just takes us over to our Redbubble shop. But if you want to see this or you want to take a look at the designs, it's not just on t-shirts. You can follow the links in the show notes in YouTube or in the podcast, and you can go take a look at the design and see if that's something that's fun for you. What I did like about the circle that I made, because I hand drew the circle, is it's got a little wand at the top. So that's also a protective circle. The circle around the whole thing that says member of Spectre and Book Club. And then right at the top, kind of next to the ghost, is our Bringers of the Light sigil. So I thought that was really cool and cute. So, I mean, you can wear that at any time. It's got a little ghost with bats around it, reading a little book that has a pentagram on it. And so you too, you want to, we don't have enough people in this, in Abigail's Spectre and book club coven where you can become a participant, which you are anyway as a bringer of the light. But I think it's fun to like integrate that into the story. Week ahead energies. So let me see if there's any more housekeeping stuff. We talked about the financial self-mastery course. I did post a Patreon preview to that. If it looks interesting to you, you can go take a look at that over on Patreon. Yeah, that's it. Week ahead energies. The big talk about town this week ahead is a Fire Grand Trine that is meant to be an ignition point to the Pluto in Aquarius energies. So it's a point, it's a degree point in the fire signs. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. From today that I'm recording this, the 24th, all the way through to the 27th, which is that the middle of the week? Yeah, Wednesday. This is a huge ignition point and a huge push from the fire signs to ignite your passions and to then help push you and move you forward towards your goals and your dreams. And with the Pluto just moving into Aqua and this whole new beginning starting for everybody, not just you, not just me, like the whole world. This is the type of energy that will push you into your next level of what you want to do. So long held manifestations, if you've been on the fence or if you've been made to wait for quote unquote divine timing, the divine timing is now. This is one of those weeks or one of those portals or one of those activation points that is for anybody that's been waiting for divine timing. This is one of those. And so you could be just, sitting there doing something and all of a sudden it's like, get up and take action on this now, or do something now. Or I keep saying this one, go here now, or pick up your phone now and send this message. This energy, if you've been a little like procrastinating about it, this is the divine timing. This 24th to the 27th is a huge window of opportunity that if you've been a little bit like, no, I want to take action, but is it right? Is it good? Should I do? Is it divine time? Boom. This fire energy, boom, this fire energy is going to like push you forward and help you make those moves that you need to make. Okay. What else do we want to talk about? They're saying that's the big one. So let me read from Flying Potion then, the chapter for this week, because it was about writing it's 222. As I picked up my tablet, good old 222, my little divine counterpart number. So there you go. I was just talking about pushing things forward. 222 came up. A lot of divine counterpart energy in the cards for today as well. Although I didn't specifically speak to it, it was there in the Lover's card. And I have a special card that comes out of my Happy Cloud Oracle deck. I have many Oracle decks. Of course, I was a little behind. I think I have like 10 to 15 Oracle decks over on the Game Crafter, which links to those are in the show notes that I was watching. I like to watch Guided by Angels in the morning. I like to just listen to Liz's angel messages and her love forecast for the day ahead. And she goes, I've created over 75 card decks now. And I was like, oh my God, I better get moving. But I like to hang around those type of people that are like massive manifestors and can produce results like that. Because, you're the sum of how many people, what are the people you hang around with, right? So I try to hang around and imbibe in the content of people that are like master manifestors. So I thought that was a lot. I was like 70 something. Oh my God, I better get going. Because I've been wanting to work on another deck. And I've been like, nah, do I want to work on another deck? I couldn't really decide if I wanted to or not. Flying Potion. Let's see, when we last left Flying Potion. So if you're new here, the way we do this is I write channeled fiction and nonfiction. All my ebooks are free to read. Apple Books, Google Books, Barnes and Nobles. The link to my Smashwords publisher is in my show notes, and you can go download a free copy of any of my books in electronic format. What else going on with those? Oh, cool. But yeah, we work on these together, so I don't want to explain how I write them. You guys have been here, you know that. But we've been working on Flying Potion. I channeled in today's chapter this morning, but we left off last week. What were we talking about? Oh, everybody was going. Mindy Smatherton, who we can't decide what she is. She's a witch who doesn't do her spells very well. Had been after Dakar. She had come to Rockaway Point with the intent of like hooking up with Dakar, who she felt she had some past life thing with him. But the way we do these is we read the chapter, and part of the intention of the writings is that whatever we come across, whatever we're working on, is also indicative of the energy that we're talking about, in this case, the week ahead. So I'm going to read the next chapter. If you're following the story, we have the audiobook now on the podcast and on YouTube all the way up, I think, gosh, was it chapter 11, I think? Yeah, chapter 11. So from 1 to 11 is out there now if you want to get caught up with the story. But Mindy decides to stay was the last chapter. She decided she was going to stay, and everybody was trying to make this trip to Loveland Park, which was like this area of Rockaway Point, right outside Rockaway Point, that had like amusement park kind of stuff. So we're going to drop in here with chapter 13, which is Let's Ride the Teacups. We'll read this, and then we'll pull out any metaphors that the guides say are indicative of the week ahead energies. But at the same time, listen with your master senses, whether you're listening or watching me, however you want to do this. And a lot of times, you guys, unbeknownst to me, get written into the story. So pay attention, because there could be special confirmations for you in these channelings that I don't know are confirmations for some individual person. If the guides tell me, I'll point it out on the show. But if not, it may just be some little message or confirmation meant just for you. So you can see these as just a fun story, or you can take it a little bit deeper. As we say, we like to use all of my books as healing tools and healing workbooks and divination tools, and you can see what other messages might be in here for you. All right, let's take a deep breath together. I had some caffeine this morning, and I feel like, woo, going fast. Of course, we're in Sag season too, and we've got that fiery kind of woo energy, like anything goes. And this week, I think on my calendar, I did write heightened magical influences at the beginning of the month, and I did not realize that this Fire Grand Trine was coming at the same time that I wrote that. So it is very, very big window of opportunity over the next 4 days, maybe even a little bit longer. But the pure potentiality and the biggest oomph behind it all is this next 4 days. Chapter 13. Let's Ride the Teacups. Abigail and Dakar arrived at Loveland Park just as the doors opened on all the rides. They got hot chocolate and scones and ate them while watching the lighting of the Christmas tree. And they waited in line for their turn at the photo op and meet and greet with Santa and his reindeer. Real live reindeer waited at the front of the line to greet each person who wished that all their wishes and dreams would come true. There's a lot about wishes and dreams in this chapter coming true. It was said that if you placed a gold coin in the reindeer's belt of bells, that your wishes would all come true. Reindeer were weighted down with the gold coins that the park sold in the front office. There were quite a few opportunities around the park to use the gold coins and to have fun making all the wishes and then letting them fly out into the universe. Abigail had her gold coin, and Dakar had just made his wish. She wondered if they were wishing for the same thing, as she tucked her gold coin into Prancer's bell belt and stepped up to stand next to Santa. Oh, young lady, Santa said as he patted his belly and smiled for the photo op with Abigail. He asked her for her wish, and she leaned into him and whispered into his ear. Well, young lady, we all want that now, don't we? He said, smiling. I'll put in a good word with the man upstairs, he said, smiling for one more photo, while the professional photographer clicked his camera and Dakar took his own with his new phone. That's rhyming. Took his own with his new phone. The crowd was gathering, and Abigail felt like wildly spinning and letting her joy spread out to everyone around. "Let's ride the teacups," she said, "just so happy to be here with him in this moment." Not many knew their backstory, but it was quite a tale to be told. Yes, they had had many years apart before they'd met in this lifetime. Abigail jumped up and down, giddy with excitement, as they both got into the blue teacup decorated with red holly and jingle bells. The cup spun and spun round, and they both laughed wildly while watching the park go by in a dizzying display of Christmas lights, ornaments, and the smells of roasting chestnuts, toasted marshmallows, and holiday cheer. Yes, right now, Abigail thought she was just so happy to be here in this moment. The ride stopped spinning, and Abigail could sense a weird feeling at her back. Looking into the line of people waiting for the tilt-a-whirl, she felt someone staring at her. Mindy Smatherton was jealous of her and Dakar, but at the same time she felt a different sense come over her. The holiday cheer and joy of all the people softened her heart, and in that moment she felt a loving presence enter into her soul. Maybe, just maybe, she didn't need a man so much as she needed a friend. And this Abigail Smiles soul called out to Mindy saying, "I'm a safe space." And so Mindy in that moment decided to let bygones be bygones, to let love have its moments, and to move her life forward. For she'd had a big dream since she was a child. That dream had been shown to her to keep her growing and going throughout her life. The dream was of her having everything she wanted: good friends, good health, good fortune, fun, and love. And so Mindy decided that rather than fight this dream, she would embrace it. No more silly spells to part lovers, make people fear her, or even to downplay her own wants and desires. She would embrace all the wishes she really wanted and go for them. And the first was to have a new friend. And that perky Abigail Smile, whose love aura always reached out to everyone, regardless, might be the way to start. Yes, she would call on Abigail Smile and see what happened. And for right now, she tucked her gold coin into Rudolph's belt, thus securing her wishes as she waited to be tossed about by the tilt-a-whirl and the Mad Hatter's Bouncy World Castle. This was the new beginning of all their lives, and they truly didn't see how so soon everything would upgrade for each one of them. And so I channeled in the title of the next chapter 14, which is Let's Be Friends. So, man, I mean, if this chapter doesn't really imbue the energies of what's going on right now, I don't know what else does. It's all about like the joy, even no matter what hemisphere you're in, right? I know it's, well, I don't know, or whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate. There's this energy of like, we talked about it before, the pure potentiality. So now we're going to the metaphors as they pertain to you or in the week ahead. The pure potentiality of these new beginning points with this Pluto in Aquarius. And it will sit at 0 degrees of Aquarius in this 0 degree point to the end of December. But right now it's extra potent for wish making, for dreams being manifested, for desires, long-held desires to resurface. We have Mercury going in retrograde tomorrow too, but I feel like it's going to be a different kind. It's a little bit of a different kind of Mercury retrograde than what we're typically used to. It's more of you're saying a refactoring of the energy and a rewilding, whatever that means, rewilding of what you want. Yeah, so I think with that, it means a lot of things you would set aside or said like, oh, maybe this is never going to happen for me. Like it's going to come back up again, but it's going to come back up with the force of one. Yeah, it can happen now because this 16-year cycle has just ended. And two, there's some oomph and some fire behind it with this Fire Grand Trine this week for the better part of the week. That is like, if you really want something, now's the time to go for it kind of energy. I know in the cards that we drew on Friday, it was all about, even though here it's winter. So I keep saying how much I don't dislike winter that much. It's just, nah, it's like my least favorite season. But the pure potentiality is there. And even though it's winter here and it's like summerish in the southern hemisphere, there's this spring renewal energy, especially in the cards, that the decks that wanted to come out for that reading were all decks I would typically use in the springtime, but they were like, no, bring us out now, because this is kind of the energy we want. We want you to be thinking about it. We want you to be like enveloping yourself in. Lots of talk here about, well, the whole thing of the joy of the season, of having fun, of getting what you want, splurging on some little treats or whatever, hot chocolate and scones, taking advantage of, places and spaces that maybe you normally wouldn't. Because I was like thinking, man, I've lived in this town now since, when did I come here? March of 2022. And I'm like, things happen around town all the time, Christmas bazaars and all that. I'm like, I typically don't go to stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it would be fun to go do like a little Santa photo op or something to get into the season, that wasn't so far away. I didn't have to drive like 60 miles. I want to go see Wicked, but I'm waiting for the crowds to calm down around that a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be crowded. North Dakota, crowded at movie theaters, like 10 people. So, but I am kind of waiting just a little bit on that. I like to hear it too. Like, is it that good? I don't know. Placing gold coins and reindeers comes up a lot here. Is reindeer a spirit animal? I guess it could be considered one. Maybe a reindeer is your power animal or something, I don't know. Reindeers were weighted down with gold coins. Maybe reindeers in this case are like little angels, and Santa is like the universe. You could pull the metaphor down like that. Reindeers were already weighted down with the gold coins that the park sold in the front office. So to me, it's like, again, I tell you guys, I've been writing these same wishes and dreams down for 4 years, 5 years now. It's the same ones. And apparently something, divine timing was, who knows when, Pluto leaves Capricorn or some other third thing. I don't know, right? Divine timing is different for everybody, but it's like, we've talked about the root chakra of people that have been manifesting something for a really long time. And that root chakra is still, whenever you're getting ready to come into a lot of gain, your root chakra will significantly expand, like 4 to 5 times its normal size. So when I'm talking about root chakras, I'm just do a quick, because I'm looking at the time. I'm like, we got plenty of time for this. When you're looking at your chakras, you can picture yourself as like a little self in front of you, like a little you in front of you. And you can take your hands out facing each other, like, and going in as if you were feeling the energy. And you can just look at the little you and say like, my heart chakra or whatever. And you can measure the size of your chakras that way. And then if you're getting ready to manifest really, really big, and your root chakra will expand, like I said, 4, 5, 6 times its normal size. So if you ever say like my root chakra and you can't even get your arms around it, then something big is about to happen. And our root chakras, some of us, bringers of the light here, me and some of you out there, your root chakras, you'll know if this is you. And if you don't know yet, you can do this test to figure out. So mine is so big now that when I measure it, it goes out over there to the middle of the empty lot. And the way I have to do it now is I have to take a proxy. So I take Valentina, she's one of the trolls, and I get my pendulum and I'm like, show me the boundary line of my chakras. And, and the pendulum will go, and I'll just kind of look out energetically, like, and I'll say, go to yes when the boundary line of my chakra is at the edge of it or whatever. And so we're way out. I mean, using the proxy, it's way out there. So I'm like, something big is still about to happen. And I feel like for some of you too, that's the way this is with this reindeers weighted down with gold coins. It's all of these things that are that you're karmically entitled to now, like building up and building up and building up with these, use gold coins as a metaphor for whatever you want, waiting to drop down. And I keep asking the guys, like, when is this chakra gonna go in? It's like, was it when Pluto entered Capricorn? It's still big. And they're like, you have to walk through a gate in order for it to go back to its default size, which is whatever size it's supposed to be for you. It's different for everybody. But it's like you have to walk through a gate that's specially meant for you and accept what's on the other side. And when you do, then everything starts flowing into you. That's when the gates open, and everything that's been, all the gold coins, quote unquote gold coins, sitting in the root chakra, then start to manifest into your reality. And then the chakra starts to, as they do, it slowly starts to come down to its default size. So we're still waiting. Some of us, I'm still waiting for that. Some of us have been sitting in this still waiting position since July, beginning of July 4th, and we were told that we had that all the work we had done to clear our negative karma in this lifetime had been completed. So some of us are still waiting for that moment. What else? And then we also, it sounds like even this week, it's still a week where the potentiality of the energy is such that it's time for new wishes and desires. It's time to organize your thoughts. It's time to get however you do your manifesting, your vision boards, your wish lists, timings. I think you're coming out of a space when maybe you didn't really know how long something was going to take, and now you may have some freedom open up to you in the sense that you'll be able to have a little bit of a further look out to the future and say, like, yeah, so in 1 year I could be here, in 5 years I could be here, in 10 years I could be here, versus some of us still sitting here going, like, I don't know what's going to happen this year until my thing comes in. I'm still waiting in this waiting room. I'm not even at the waiting room, because I did ask. I'm like, where's this new gate for some of us? Is it still a doorway I asked to see, is it still a doorway that's over there? And they're like, no, you're standing right on top of it. So you can ask these questions of your guides. If they can tell you, they're going to tell you. If they can't tell you, then just ask them to say, I can't tell you right now. These things are not necessarily to be, some stuff is still a mystery, right? You're not meant to see certain things. But with this one, I'm like, okay, I need to know where this doorway is at now. And I'll ask, show me where the doorway was at, last month, so that I can get a baseline for what I'm looking at. And I'm like, well, where's my doorway now? When are my gold coins going to start popping off? And they're like, when I see it, it's like I'm right in the door frame. And they're like, you're just right there, waiting to step over the threshold. It's right on top of you. So to me, that means divine timing is now. And these popping off points, with this Fire Grand Trine, this is a big one for a lot of people here. So, if you want to play with the energy and work with your guides, those are some of the questions that you can ask them. It's like, show me my root chakra. What does it look like? Am I waiting for some big, huge life change? You should already know if you are. But huge changes, not teensy stuff like, am I going to get a new car? I mean, your root chakra will expand a little bit bigger for that. But we're talking about big stuff I'm going to leave where I'm at and move around the world and marry my, or no, not marry, but whatever, meet my true love. We're jumping the gun here. Got to meet the person first. Meet my true love and have everything I want, and all my things I've been working on are going to start coming true, and blah, yada, 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 blah, right? Those are the kind of things. And I think too, then there's things in the energy too for healing relationships. We still have not come out of the eclipse energies with that Libra eclipse back in, was it September, October time frame? Because I asked the guides, I'm like, where's all these new relationships and, better relationships and all this? I haven't seen any evidence of that. And, they're like, well, eclipse energies can last for 6 months or longer. We are still in the energy too of the Aries, Libra, North and South nodes in the general overall astrology. And the nodes of fate change in January to, help me out here, Pisces and something else, like Virgo and Pisces or something. And I'm like, what's up with that? I don't know. What's going to happen then, right? I need my person now. I don't want to wait anymore. But I think there's also this beneficial energy coming in for better relationships. Hence the whole thing with Mindy, who just really came into flying potion. Heaven bent, heaven bent on getting. Ooh, I'm getting a little saucy here. Sagittarius, getting to Dakar. Let's just put it like that. She wanted Dakar for herself. And at the beginning of the story, she was all ready to like forget this freaking Abigail Smile. I'm gonna get rid of her so I can have Dakar. We don't even know the backstory between Mindy and Dakar. Like, wasn't even that great. It was probably some weird past life moment that just stuck in her field. And he's like, I don't even know what she's doing. He's all, if he has any past life stuff, it's with Maggie Chalmers, and we still have yet to totally unfurl and test out what that is going on there, because that's a very powerful past life connection. But Mindy, suddenly, with all of this energy of the now moment, feels like, like almost like the Grinch, opening his heart. What did it go open 2 or 3 or 4 sizes? And she's like, well, maybe I don't really need a man. Maybe I just need a really good friend. Because I totally wanted Mindy to stay because her magic is so bizarre and so weird. I thought we could really have some comedic relief with her and bring her in as part of Spectrum Book Coven. So hopefully that's what's headed for. That's what's going to happen there. She and Abigail will make friends. The whole weirdness between her and Dakar will just be set aside, and we'll be able to have some, she's an author too. She wrote that book, Flying Potion. Who knows what she does? She might bring some levity to it. How's she going to interact with Polly and Scratchy and all of that? That remains to be seen. And then I do like how, make those wishes, put them out there to the universe. And then this was the new beginning of all their lives, and they truly didn't see how so soon everything would upgrade for each one of them. Because the next chapter is Let's Be Friends, so I can only assume that people are going to start coming together and talking about new relationships with each other. So hopefully, come on. All right. If you can't tell by now, I'm manifesting a new person into my life. I'm like, come on, person. I've been saying this manifestation since July of 2020. Let's go. I don't know who this person is. I've been waiting. I just know them in my heart. That has to be good enough for now. And in all the signs they send me with all the 222s that I see every single day. Oh, like hundreds of 222s. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. All right, stepping forward. The dragons want to come in and just bring a quick blessing. I know I don't want to go too long, so I'm going to bring this light language in. It's not me blessing or anything. It's the dragons bringing in a blessing through the higher realms for you on your journey, whether you need courage, confidence. All of these things I think that came up in today's chapter require a little bit of courage and confidence. For me anyway, getting on these tilt-a-whirls and these dizzying rides and all that. I want to go to the amusement parks. I want to go visit Orlando and go to all those parks and all that. But some of that's going to be a stretch for me, like riding the roller coaster, all that. That's a little scary. So all these things require courage and confidence. Stepping up to meet new people, putting old past hurts aside and past things aside so that you can move forward with your life and meet new friends and make new, bring in new family, whatever it is that you want. So the dragons just want to come in and bring down a little blessing of courage and confidence for everybody that's here. So if you've never received light language before, it's just the frequency, in this case, the frequency of the dragons. The blessing comes through the light codes. Just let it envelop you and surround you. And if you don't want it, or it sounds weird or whatever, you don't have to accept it or whatever. You don't have to, buy it. Not buying into it, but you accept it or not accept it. I do feel like this week too, there's like this perfect balance, this 11-11 energy, which is another big twin flame number, but this perfect balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, of the yin and yang energy in the cosmos this week, that, you know, as above, so below, as within, so without, that if you are trying to bring somebody into your life, I just think it's like a week that's just like, come on, make it happen. All right, so big blessings, you know, may you all be divinely blessed with all your wishes and all your dreams and everything that you desire. And that's all we have for you now. We are complete, and we hope to see you somewhere else in the astrals, a TLC for the soul. I think what's coming next in terms of shows is we brought in the guides for this week are Killing Cove dolphins. Those came out of my list of spirit guides. Those are just like it sounds like, dolphin spirits that were, you know, massacred at the Killing Coves in Japan. So I have a mated pair. I know dolphins don't mate for life, but they've come through together, and they came to meet together as a couple, a pair, whatever. But they want us to do some earth song healing work for coral reefs, and I'm not exactly sure which coral reefs or where. So that's probably the next show I'm going to do, is a Bringers of the Light call to action, where we'll be asked to do some healing work, some earth guardianship work around coral reefs with the Killing Cove dolphins. So some humanitarian stuff as well. So look for that for the next show, I guess, for us. And until then, I will see you somewhere in the astrals at TLC for the soul. Take care.
This episode has been brought to you by Frolicking Fraulein. Interactions with Frolicking Fraulein could bring on magical, mystical euphoria, dizziness, lightheadedness, sudden feelings of losing all sense of 3D reality.
Oh no, someone's been a naughty Frolicking Fraulein.